Hello and welcome to Just Hoops. The Atlanta Hawks have been one of the more interesting teams and stories this NBA season. They've been up and down from the start, but of late they've been playing well behind the play of Dejounte and Trae. In this video, we're going to look at the offensive end of the floor, specifically their pick and roll attack. But here are their offensive stats. Some things that stand out are the efficient shooting and their high assist play. In the last 10 games, they're 7-3 with 118 points per game, shooting over 50 from the field with 24.3 assists. But in terms of the pick and roll, they're first in possessions, first in field goal attempts, shooting over 50% effective field goal percentage, 45 field goal percentage, and .98 point per possession. So let's look at the film and break down Atlanta's pick and roll attack. So let's start off with their spacing in the pick and roll. So this first clip, we'll see a great example of how they typically and primarily like spacing out of the pick and roll. We'll have two guys on the weak side, one guy strong side, and they just play out of it. That's their primary spacing. That's kind of what they go to. But to dive into it a little bit more, this next clip here against Charlotte, we'll see where they put guys. So typically in the one pass away spots, the corner that's loaded and the slot is playmakers, shooters, spacers, and the weak side corner is typically a guy that's going to be slashing, cutting, playing off of the ball. Here against the Raptors, we'll see that same thing with Trae Young in the slot, DeAndre Hunter in the strong side corner, and John Collins work in the weak side corner / porch area. And the same thing is here against Dallas. We have DeAndre Hunter with the ball in his hands, but Trae Young and Dejounte are the one-way passes with John Collins in the weak side porch corner area. This allows for that next pass to be such a threat, making it hard for the gaps to play and the weak side corner to be really active. But they also have the ability to change things up. In this clip here, we'll have John Collins in the strong side corner and shooters wide. They're able to manipulate where they put guys in order to create optimal opportunities for the ball handler to attack. Here, we're going to see three-man spacing, an empty side pick and roll with three guys wide. They like having two shooters at the 45 and corner, and then that slasher working in the middle of the floor, cutting, screening, doing something, just not taking up space. Here we're going to see the slasher in the porch area, and then the ball screen happening on the side of the floor with the two shooters wide. Here we're going to see where we got Johnson setting that screen at the elbow area, getting back up into the slot, and the two attackers and shooters are at the 45 and corner. Now though, let's go to the next level and talk about some of their actions, starting with their early offense. A basic drag pick and roll is a huge part of what Atlanta does, with John Collins and Okongwu setting that screen, getting downhill, and making plays at the rim. It's simple, it's effective, and they do a really good job at it. Next, we'll look at a 77, a double ball screen in the middle of the floor. First guy's going to pop, second guy's going to roll. It's a very basic look, but it works for Atlanta with their variety of 3 and 4 men on the floor at all times, and just guys that are able to make those quick reads and quick decisions on the break. And lastly, we're going to get a pistol action, getting that inverted screen guy and just throwing a different look at defenses early in the possession. Now let's go to the half court, starting with their Ram series. So a Ram screen you'll see here is that down screen in the middle of the floor to free up DeAndre Hunter. That's why I'm calling a Ram. First two clips are going to be a Ram into a catch in the slot area into a flip ball screen. Same thing here against Dallas. We're going to get that Ram into a middle slot ball screen. And it's just a simple action, free up the catch into their ball screen. Here we're going to get the Ram in-screen set. So first the Ram is going to get set on the slot into the ball screen, and then it turns into a baseline action on the strong side of the floor. It's a set seen throughout the NBA, but puts the ball screen coverage at jeopardy and also gives the ball handler a lot of different options and opportunities to get the ball out of his hands and make a play for somebody else. And lastly, we'll get a Ram into a ghost flip screen. Simple action, but it really works at making the ball screen coverage work hard and create opportunities for the offense. Now let's look at their away series. So an away screen is where the big in the middle of the floor is going to go away. But first we're going to look at a double away. That here for DeAndre Hunter was a double away to free him up, and then it turned into a flip ball screen in the slot area, getting the catch in the middle working. Here we're going to get a double away, but it's kind of seen as just false action because the double away turned into a flip screen for the top screener, get Dejounte downhill. Here we're going to get a single away into a double ball screen, Just simple action, first free up the guy as that first screener, and then their second screen came in. Here, it's going to be away just to get the catch into a flip screen in the middle of the floor. Just a different way, like the Ram set, to free up the catch, get into their ball screen. Here, we're going to get the same thing with DeAndre Hunter, the away to get the catch into their ball screen in the middle of the floor. Now, we're going to look at their away into a Spain. So here we get that away action flipping into a ball screen, and the guy that rejected the away sets that stack or Spain action in the middle of the floor. We're going to get a really good clip of that next against Dallas, where we're going to get Bogdanovic rejecting the away and then setting that Spain screen in the middle of the floor for the roll man. Really nice action, really fun. And here we're going to get one last example against the Knicks, reject the away into a Spain. Nice action, hard to guard, and presents a lot of opportunities for an offense to get a lot of different angles to attack and a lot of different things going on for a defense to guard. So at the end of the day, this is a guard-first offense. Trae and Dejounte are the heart and soul of everything Atlanta does, and that's why they're such a heavy ball screen offense. Trae and Dejounte are combining for 48 points per game, 8 rebounds, 16 assists, and responsible for over 55% of the offense based on usage. Their pick and roll attack is designed around Trae and Dejounte to give them space, let them get downhill, and make a play. Trae Young has a lot more action and spacing set to free him up from three, and Dejounte, you can see that it's a lot more trying to get him to the rim and play out of that. But at the end of the day, these two are responsible for so much of the offensive load that a simple pick and roll attack is what frees him up and allows both of them to play their strengths, get downhill, and make plays for themselves and their teammates. Averaging 16 assists per game from these two is huge. And another stat that I want to throw out is that they're one of the leading mid-range field goal attempt teams in the NBA. At 38.9% of their field goal attempts are coming from mid, and this is 100% due to their ability to play out of the pick and roll. But as we continue to talk about the nuance of their ball screen attack, I think that a huge thing is putting those playmakers as that one pass away, and guys that could shoot, dribble, and pass. It just allows for them to attack a gap. These last few clips here, you saw that it was Griffin, Bogdanovic. These guys are getting good opportunities because they're that next man. They're that playmaker right outside of the action. Putting Trae and Dejounte in those spots allows them to catch and go and catch, play downhill, and make smart decisions with the ball in their hands. Just the positioning and ways that they use these guys in their ball screen attack and their spacing overall is a huge part of their success. But lastly, in terms of nuance, they do a great job at manipulating the floor for their roll men. Okongwu and Capella are big time threats in terms of being an elite screener, and then secondly, rolling to the hoop hard. How they move guys in the shakeup, how they move guys on the weak side, it makes it really hard for defenses to always have a tag, always have somebody present at the rim, and with those gaps not being able to help as much, it just puts defenses in a really tough spot to be able to guard the ball, guard the roll, and then guard everyone else on the perimeter. Their spacing, their personnel is very good for pick and roll attack, and Dejounte and Trae are two of the best lob and just passers out of the pick and roll for both the roll man and everyone else. So their ability to manipulate and occupy different space on the floor, freeing up these roll men, freeing up the short, just makes it so much more difficult for defenses and gives these big men some high level, great opportunities on a nightly basis. So the Atlanta Hawks have been playing very well of late, but their pick and roll attack is at the heart and center of it. Trae and Dejounte Murray are two of the best point guards in the pick and roll, and it's really exciting to see how they first space the floor, the different actions they use, and just the nuance within it in terms of where they put guys, how they position guys, and what they do just to make it harder for defenses. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learned something about the Atlanta Hawks. For more content like this, please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you in the next one.